In essence, what you're playing is a board game. You're taking the most important person and you're pitting that person and his small contingent of personal guards against someone else. This guy will activate. He'll throw his animus on the wrestler.
Sure.
And he will walk up to, actually, yeah, he will walk up to here.
Okay.
The guys that play this just come from a wide variety of backgrounds.
Zach is definitely a gamer. He likes the Xbox and the PlayStation. He also plays board games. We do a lot of board games that are co-op together. He plays the tabletop games. So yeah, if it's a game with a stat sheet, Zach enjoys it, absolutely.
When I was a kid, I was always interested in miniature games, tabletop miniature games.
When we came back from NorwestCon, Zach had gone to the miniature class and done some painting. And I knew that he had liked painting miniatures before, but we didn't know about the miniature gaming at the time, had never really looked into Warhammer, Warmachine, or anything like that. And so
when I went back home to Tennessee, I went down to the local game shop and I went to the people playing there and I said, hey, I'm interested in playing miniature games. I don't know what I want to play, but I would like to get involved. So what are all the different options? And I had several people come up to me and tell me about the games that they played. And the one that sounded the most interesting guy basically described it as, you get to play these big robots that can pick things up and throw them at each other and slam things across people, and it just sounded really cool. Warmachine is a tabletop game where you take actual metal or plastic figures and you move them across the battlefield in turns. You take turns with your opponent and you perform actions such as attacking or casting spells or that kind of thing. And you are trying to beat the other person by either winning a certain scenario that you're playing or killing the enemy's leader.
I have one turn to kill you.
Yep.
Can he be knocked out?
No, he cannot.
Okay, good to know. That's okay.
He's steady.
Still gonna charge. Boom.
All right.
Oh, there goes my die. Thanks, buddy. I'm 6. You're 10.
Yep. Maybe 4.
Miss.
Oh, miss.
Oh my goodness. I did not know it was going to go right there.
Right there.
Mulligan's going to run.
You will get some people that look at you strangely, like, what is this? You know, what's going on here? But you explain it to them. Most of the time, they're really interested. Even people that aren't into this culture, they'll think it's really neat. When you buy these models, you're not buying a little plastic figure, a little plastic toy man that you would get from a toy store. You have to scrape the mold lines off. So every model comes in a bunch of pieces. Generally use super glue to put the models together. Place these two on there. The hobby as a whole gives me a lot to do. Even when I'm not out there with someone playing, I still have something to do with the hobby at home by painting these pieces.
So some players in Warmachine, they only want painted models on the table. And there's actually been a series of challenges to make people do this. And some tournaments actually require you to have painted models. Around here, we do not. For a guy like Zachariah, he really likes to do it. His stuff looks good, it looks solid. You can definitely tell his style. Even the other night we were playing and a guy walked over and was admiring Zachariah's work and he said, "I can always tell your work, it's a very distinct style."
And if you step into his world with his mind, you will see it quickly change into a beautiful, exciting world of fantasy. 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 Exciting world of fantasy.
The nice thing about this over a video game, for instance, is I lived in Tennessee. I moved to Denver. I had a set of friends already here ready. I just got onto the forums. There are people that play that. You can actually go physically to the store, meet the people, shake their hands, talk to them, play some games.
I actually met Zachariah on the internet first. There's kind of a message board where you can kind of chat to all the other players. And so I knew him on there, and he shot me a message one day and just said, "Hey, I'm gonna come out to Colorado. Can you just show me around, just introduce me to some stores and whatnot?"
And then when we moved, he already had a set group of friends, which I thought was really neat because it's really hard to completely uproot, which is what we were doing.
It was well known that when he was going to come out here that he was going to be a good player. I got to line up and see that, and just read his stuff, that he was basically winning local tournaments, he was winning other things that he went to, and all around people were saying, this guy knows what he's talking about.
You really do have to know people's skills and be able to be a good winner, a good loser, to know how to talk to people and get them to play and various things. It's definitely a social game.
Zach is the king of diplomacy, and so if he wants something, he can get what he wants, but in a very diplomatic way and in a way that you don't feel like you've been taken advantage of.
If you're bad to play against, if you're no fun to play, if you get mad and angry and storm out, nobody's going to want to play with you again. And if you don't have anyone to play against, you end up quitting the game because there's nothing to do.
What I like about playing with Zachariah is that he's good enough that he's actually challenging, and then he's also not like some extreme rule jerk or anything else either. And so he forces you to get better as a player, which if you want to play at tournaments and everything else, is really good.
This kind of game, unlike your Halo or Call of Duty, you have to have opponents to play. This game is no good if you don't have opponents to play.
But sportsmanship is so key to this because this is my fun time. Like, I've got a wife, I've got a kid, I've got a career, I've got ministry, I've got all kinds of things that fill out my life just fine. And the last thing I want to do is come and play this and have some guy freak out over a dice game.
Exciting world of fantasy. 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 Exciting world of fantasy.
Good job.
All right.
I'm really proud of Zach. I'm always excited when he comes home and tells me about a win with a game, or particularly a win with a tournament. I think it's great. He gets these coins when he wins tournaments and things, and we've actually worked on a shadow box to display those. And I'm really proud of him. I think it's really neat that he wins and does really well and really enjoys himself even if he doesn't win.
Even after several years, there's still people that go, "Oh, I don't know how that works together. I need to go to the rules forum online and make sure I've got this rule down right." So it is a very complex game that requires a lot of thought.
And so when I met him, I was very happy that he was not some old man who's trying to lure me to his basement, which can happen when you meet somebody on the internet.
A lot of what I do is pick things that I know really well and use those because I'm so good I don't have to think.
wasn't like a life thing of, yes, we're moving, and now he never has to do this again, haha.
I think probably the one thing that you guys should know is that I'm probably Zachariah's most attractive opponent, and I think that that's really important. You should probably just have that be the centerpiece of your entire documentary.
Gave us a new identity. A feeling of belonging somewhere. 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 A feeling of belonging somewhere.